Welcome to Red V TV, supported by Chapel House Cars for the 2024 season. With a week to go, Kevin, it is the turn of one of the Widnes Mafia.
That's how I was going to introduce him. It's time for our number 7. It's the hero with the drop goal in the World Club Challenge. It is Lewis Dodd. And Lewis is sponsored by Accord Legal Services Limited.
Accord Legal Services can help you with your wills, probate, or lasting power of attorney. Kevin, before you get bumped off, make sure you get that will sorted.
Yes, I will do.
Right then, Lewis Dodd.
Yes.
Marmite to Saints fans.
Yes.
Is this a year that we will see the best of Lewis Dodd? Back to full fitness. Injuries sorted in the off season. I think it was a shoulder injury that he had. He's had a bit of surgery on.
Yep.
And he's a season on from coming back from the injury he had to his Achilles.
Well done.
Brain taking time to tick over there. Will we see the best of Lewis Dodd this season?
I hope so. I genuinely hope so. Yeah, you're right. And I think that's where we need to start. He did his Achilles, and it takes time for players to get back from that. It does take a lot of time for players to get back from that. It's not just physical. It's also the mental thing of, could it go again? Look at Regan Grace. Hasn't he done his twice? And he's trying to get back to fitness. And he's not actually playing for a team at the moment. He's training. I think he was training with Bath last I heard. I've got the article up here. Lewis Dodd tore his labrum, a rim of soft tissue. There we go. Well done. Rim of soft tissue or fibrous cartilage that surrounds the socket of a ball and socket joint to make it more stable. And he tore that midway through the season. He played on because it was Roby's and McCarthy Scarsbrook's last season, and he didn't want to let anyone down. He had surgery at the end of the season, and he played on with a lot of strapping and painkillers, but he just carried on. I think it's stuff like that that I didn't know about, you didn't know about, we found out in the off-season. And I think that's where people need to cut him some slack. Because he could have easily parked his season there and gone, I'm a young lad, I don't want to do any more damage to it, get me into surgery. If I'm back by the end of the season, great. But if I'm not, you know what? I'll be fine again for next year. And he could have easily done that. But he's played on with it. Probably to his detriment that he's getting some pelters, which, you know what, kicking game, was it that good last year? It looked at times like it was getting better. And then it might be that we go back to the same tactic. Is that to a plan rather than what he wants to do? We don't know the answer to this. Unless we're sat at Cowley going through the training with him, we don't know this. Because I think it's a point that you made that Laura Fraser, who was getting a lot of grief for his kicking, and then you saw him doing a bit of training, and it was Matty Smith actually with him doing it. So I think there's almost like been a lot of pot shots been put out there. If something sticks, then that'll do, and people get a narrative and stick with it. I'm willing to give Lewis Dodd more time. I've seen him play, and thankfully, like we've been in with the Community Foundation a couple of times, and I've been sat on the touchline, chatting to people and saying, look at how he's doing, and look at how he's organising his side. Listen, he's still a young kid. He's still a young kid playing in one of the most important shirts in rugby league, the scrum half shirt of St Helens. It's a lot to ask of a young kid. He's got the cojones to do it. Hopefully there's a little bit of handbrake taken off. Now he's got over his injuries that he can just play what's in front of him.
Yeah, there are lazy narratives that get put out on social media, and then all of a sudden it becomes fact.
Yeah.
Now, if obviously that labral tear that he's had, that is an incredibly, or can be incredibly painful. I am lucky enough professionally to have assisted in helping repair some of these. If he's had a slap repair done, it's a big surgery. It's a lot of it's done keyhole where it can be, but it's a big injury. And I think the fact that he's played through that and not made a big deal of it publicly says a lot about the lad's character. And it potentially could explain why he didn't take the line on as much, not because he didn't want to, but because he had to try and protect his shoulder to stay functioning in the team, and that may result in some of the way he played last year. Now he's getting over that surgery. I hope we see Lewis Dodd attacking the line a lot more this year, and I think you'll potentially see him back to his best. What I hope disappears is the NRL talk. I don't think it helped Lewis. I don't think it helped the club. I don't think it helped the fan base, because people are trying to compare him to an NRL halfback. Again, Lewis Dodd needs to be his aim this season should be to be the best halfback in the competition, because we've seen Wiggins halfback playing for England, and I'm sorry, but Lewis Dodd should be and can be twice the player.
I think you're right. It needs to be his aim to just be, and we'll say it. I know we've got our little sayings and catchphrases, and it's one that I use. Just be the best Lewis Dodd you can be. Don't try and compare yourself to anybody else. Don't, as you say, this talk about the NRL doesn't help anybody. Hopefully, he can get his contract sorted. Is it up at the end of this year, but there's a 2-year extension there?
I believe, or we're led to believe, we don't know for 100% fact, that the 2 years is in Lewis Dodd's favour.
Yeah.
When we got him to sign on, obviously the club at the time when the contract was done, hoped for big things and wanted to time down as long as possible. There was the talk of potentially wanting to try his hand in Australia at some point, so we gave the deal with the 2 years in Lewis's favour. As it stands at this moment in time, with no NRL offer on the table, you could probably assume that Lewis is going to be our halfback for the next 3 years. So we need to make it work, and we need to put Lewis in a system that works and gets the best out of him.
Yeah, I can't agree more with that. Because if there isn't a deal over there, or he thinks, you know what, I'm not going to go over just yet, and again, he can earn the right to go over there. He could sign another 2 years, then have the best 3 years of his career, and earn the right to go over there, earn the right of an NRL contract, and go over there and take the NRL by storm. For now, he just needs, in my opinion, to concentrate on doing what he does best, stand defences up by taking the line on, be brave, like in a different way to last season, but be brave in his decision making, and we will have a mercurial halfback wearing our number 7 shirt then.
Yeah, and listen, if a deal in the future does become on the table in Australia, it's because he'll have been doing the right things in a Saints jersey and performing at the highest level. I almost feel a lot of the hate, and I'll say that a lot of the hate that came from the terraces towards him was because of the NRL talk.
Frustration.
Yeah.
Possibly frustration. Yeah, and I think we've been very supportive of Lewis, and I'll continue to be that, because I think that, as I say, getting that number 7 shirt on your back, people immediately say, well, is he Sean Long? Or older people might go back to Alex Murphy. Somewhere in between, you might pick a Bobby Goulding, someone like that. It's very easy to put those comparisons in. Just let the lad play. Hopefully, he can stay injury-free. Let him play. For God's sake, let the handbrake be off, and let him play what's in front of him. And it might take time for him to get up to that what I'm going to call bravery, and I mean that more psychologically, that he will take the line on and that he gets as sharp as he can be. It may take a little bit of time. I'm not expecting him to play against London, score 10 tries and set up another 20. But if he grows into that shirt over the next season and then signs the other 2 years, takes up that option with us, then hopefully we're in good hands.
Okay, Kev. We are going to be into game week from tomorrow. Get yourself ready.
Ready.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Catch you soon.